What is up, guys? It's your boy Lex. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be remaking Baby Keem's new song called Good Flirts. It's with him, Kendrick Lamar, and someone named Momo Boyd. Okay, that's the name right there. All right, let's get into it. All right, as you guys know, I don't know if this is a sample. I can definitely hear in the intro that there sounds like there's some kind of AI static. So they might have sampled it from somewhere using AI. You can kind of tell, that there's AI in there. Let's check it out. In this part right here, you can kind of tell that there's some compression mixed together with AI, and some denoising going on. I can't tell. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel that that's what's going on, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, this is what it sounds like, the original. And this is what we have. Yeah, mine is more of I'm using VSTs entirely. Everything is remade from scratch. That's why you lose that scratchiness feel that they have. I could import some kind of vinyl sound and just have it as an audio that's playing in the background to kind of mimic that. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, let's get into it. All right. So first off, we have these jazz guitars. These jazz guitars right here. They sound like this. Yes, they got a lot of staircase effect going on. This is to mimic when an actual instrument is being strummed. They'll start with whether it's a downstroke or an upstroke. They'll start with another instrument. They'll start with another string and then go to the other one as it goes down the guitar. My guitar is in the back, so I can't show you, but yeah, it does look like that. And then in the mix, we have it turned to the left a little bit just to mimic how the song sounds. I noticed that main guitar is panned to the left slightly, so I'm having it to the left because there's also these keys that are to the right, and they're kind of like it's kind of like this. I don't know, this being the middle, my face being the middle, and it's kind of like that. So I hope that makes sense. Rough explanation there, but yes. And second to that, we have these layer synths. They're coming from GMS. I wanted to use stock plugins more. It sounds like this. One thing I forgot to mention is whichever note that I want to have a top note that is sounding more, and I'm using velocities to have that. There's supposed to be a top note that's acting as a lead. So you see these notes that don't have, if you look at the velocities down here, they're not the same. There's always something different. That's because there's always a lead note. In this case, which one is it? In this case, it's the middle one, because I want the middle melody to be more pronounced. But then over here, it starts to become, is it still the middle? Oh yeah, it's still the middle. It's the middle for these notes here. The same is going on with these guitars. I forgot to mention this. The same is going on. Whichever note I want to be the lead is having the most velocity. So just keep that in mind right there. So the layer synths all together with the jazz guitars, they all sound like this. I don't know if you can tell, the layer synths are to the right and then the jazz guitars are to the left, okay? And they meet in the middle to give you a nice mid-range, so it's hard to tell, but that's what's going on. Even if you look in the mix, that's what's going on. You can see that they're all peaking in their sides. They're all peaking to their respective sides, and they meet together in this bus right here, which is not doing anything. I'll show you later what it's really doing. It seems like it's not doing anything, but I'll show you later. And then we have the guitar. I'm using Boo Bass. I told you I want to use more stock plugins. I'm using Boo Bass, simple stock plugin that you can find inside Alpha Studio. It's got really, really good guitars. Bass, you just gotta mess with these settings here. On default, you kind of find it something like this, with the bass not full volume. Mid and treble will be it'll be something like this with the default. Just want to turn the treble down, turn the mids down, and maximize the bass. That way you have this sound right here. I won't play the whole thing, although I already did. And then if you play it all together, this is what it sounds like. Yes, sounds really nice, a really thick burger. And then, so within the second verse, I think he will have started singing. No, he won't have. He's about to start singing. There's a load in that just of, yeah. I'm sure you guys hear that. Let me just play it in the audio. I don't have to make sounds with my mouth. It's been over, we've been over. You hear that? Yeah, that sound right there. Okay, so to achieve that sound, you might think that you just have to play the melodies altogether, these VSTs, and load them in with, but it won't give you a good effect because the initial impact is what we are loading to, okay? The initial velocity strum of the first note is what we are loading to. We're not loading to the decay because if you just do this with an automation clip, with these sounds, I muted them because they don't work, but I'm just gonna unmute them real quick. It sounds like this. You see, it starts to load in, but you don't have that big initial, like, it's not loading into anything. It's loading into a decay. So you don't have that energy at the end of that load in. It sounds dead, okay? So what you have to do is you just have to play them without this automation so that they can have their initial impact. We want that. And then we want to put that, I want a simple life. So I just put an Edison in the master. Someone might tell you that this is illegal, but this is what I did. I put an Edison in the master and I just recorded that note. And this is what we have. You see, it's just that note. And then I took it out, okay, and throw it down here. I'm not going to take this one out like this and just throw it away. And then, so this is what I have. I took it out like this. This is what it was looking like before. And then I reversed it, okay? And then after reversing it, I'm now playing with the automation clip of the volume of the channel. This button right here, I don't want anything confusing. I told you I like a simple life. And I'm just loading it in, okay? So now it's loading into the mix. It's loading into the initial impact. It's loading into the, what do you call it? It's loading into the initial strum of those notes in that key. These ones up here are still on, so they're messing with my preview. But this is what it looks like now. You see, it just here, and then it loads into the other keys. This is how I achieved that sound, and this is how I did it, okay? I'm sure that's how they did it as well, just with reversing and automation. Stuff like that only works with samples. You can't use VSTs for stuff like that. You have to cue in what you want to do, okay? So I'm having it down here so that it's just on its own and you guys can see it clearer, okay? All right. So that's it for the sounds. Altogether, the sounds with, I'm going to start here from the middle. Actually, let me skip that for now because I want to show you this vocal here. They have a vocal. I'm sure you noticed it in the song. Let me play it real quick. Hold on. I have to unmute it. Hold on. That here. Okay. So I did a lot to get that sound. I did quite a lot. I am using Hammer. It's driven by the self-synthesizing engine or something like that. I went kind of dummy with these effects here. I'm not too sure what I did, if I'm being honest. So you see, I have this sound. Just a simple blah, 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 blah. Yes, I have that sound. I've loaded it into Hammer here. First, you want to come here and go and select the default preset, and then just load it into the thing. Just throw it onto this A1. It'll just load in, and it'll sound like that. But it won't. I played with it, so. And I don't want to mess with my settings because I don't remember altogether what I did. I'm just going to try to go through it in the best way I can. So with the speed, let me just copy this so I don't lose it. With the speed, it was something like this. You can kind of hear it. I did some things to it, so it's not the same. I went and turned the speed back to somewhere there so that it's slower and it's also reversing. The reason why I wanted to reverse is because you can hear that in the original, it sounds like it's reversed. It sounds like it's going backwards. It's like, it sounds like it's reversed, you know? So I'm reversing it to get that same effect. And then I'm leaving the speed somewhere there so that it's slowed down. Let me just make sure. It's slower. It's not too fast. It gives space for the to happen. You see, it's around that same speed. It's like, you can kind of hear that. And then I think I'm messing with the mix and the form and the scale. I was just pushing these buttons until I had something similar. Mostly it's this form here and this mix. This mix will usually be 0 and this will be like that. I don't think I'm messing with the scale. I am not messing with the scale. I'm messing with the form and the mix. So the mix, I don't remember. Oh my Lord. I'm just going to put it back before I forget. It's like that. Okay, let me just turn it back again so that you guys can see. I just went and turned the form like that and then turned the mix to where it was somewhere there. I'm not going to mess with that too much because I don't want to mess with it and kill it. And then I have a Pro C2 here that's just limiting so that it's not crazy. And then a parametric EQ2, which is just removing some top frequencies to mimic how it sounds with the song. This is how it sounds originally. And then I'm having that to just remove these frequencies to do that. And then I am adding this in the piano roll so that it looks like this. You can see there's a slight glide note at the end to glide this last note to make it sound similar with the song. So this is how it sounds in the song. This is what we have. Something similar, you know, it's improvised, so it's not 100%, but it's definitely very accurate with at least how they did it in the song. And that's it. So with all the instruments that I've added and everything in the song, this is what we have. Yes. And then we have the kick. First, we have this kick, this initial kick. And then we have the second kick. Oh, wait, Then we have the second kick right here, which is a bit harsher, tougher than the first one. That's how it sounds in the song. If you play it, you'll see that there's two different kicks. The second kick sounds much more boom than the first one. So I'm just having that to mimic that. And then we have these rim snares. I'm having different snares. I don't have the original that they used. I don't know if they're using live drums or whatever. So I'm just doing what I can. I'm adding this percussion bell. It's really a bell sound, but I'm just like limiting how it sounds. I'm not letting the top frequencies breathe so that it sounds similar. Then I'm playing it down here so that it's in pitch. Usually it sounds like this, but I'm having it down here so that it's in pitch with what they have in the song. Because if you play the original, you see that there's a bit of a top like that. And then we have this rim. It sounds like that. And then on top of that rim, we have this second rim as well, which I think I'm distorting to heck. It sounds like this. So together, they give a nice thick sound, which sounds similar with what they have in the song. Oh, it's not playing. Where is it? It's here. You see, it's kind of similar with what they have. And then we have the shakers. Shakers, they sound like this. Very simple shakers. And then we also have these hi-hats that are just acting as a support for the kick, I think. And then we have this open hat that is panned to the left or right. Which side was it? It's panned somewhere. It's to the left. It's panned to the right. It's slightly panned to the right. Yes. And then we also have a conga drum. It's supposed to be a bongo, but it's a conga. It's one of those small drums. It sounds like this. Yes. So all the drums together, they all sound like this. I'm noticing I called the vocal the conga. I did a mistake. It's supposed to be vox. Well, right? Maybe it's such a weird thing, bro. What will be happening? You see, you guys, I'm just out here. All right. And I think that's every instrument. So altogether, this is what it all sounds like. Below. And with that being said, peace guys, see y'all in the next video. Yes.